What's up with the what's up? It's Tatami, and today we're going to continue exploring my tarot collection, my African tarot collection, my black focused tarot collection. And last time we went over the Little Red One deck by the late Levita Rue. This time we are going to go over a modern classic. You know, when you pick something up and you just, you got a work of art on your hands. This is going to be something that is going to be purchased for decades to come. When you're 50, you're going to be talking to people about this deck, or you're going to see this deck in other people's living rooms or on their bookshelf. That is how iconic this deck is. It is amazing. It is the alpha and omega of decks. It is, if I would recommend somebody black have just one deck, it's this deck. It's just so thorough. But it is a little expensive. Keep in mind, I got mine when it was on Kickstarter, so I ended up getting it for a lot more off than other people did, which I had thought at the time when it came in the mail, I was like, this is so expensive for how much I paid for it. But that was because I got the Kickstarter. And I got this the day after I purchased the Levita Rue deck, the Little Red One Divination deck. I literally the next day saw the Kickstarter for this and saw that it was almost over. And I was like, I'm not missing out on that. So I scrounged up money I didn't have. This was in 2016, 17. I don't even know. I scrounged up what little I had and supported the Kickstarter so I could get myself a deck. And, luckily, I was able to do all that. At the time, I did have the funds for that, to support that. But I was able to get my hands on this deck. It is made by an actual artist. Every piece of art you see in here has its own huge copy of it somewhere. You know what I'm saying? She has made these art collages with acrylic and magazine cutouts and all this other stuff. Pretty, and hers is really, what was I going to say? It follows closer to the tarot, you know what I'm saying? The Little Red One deck was just a divination deck, so she kind of made up her own rules, and you follow the rules of the deck and it works very well. This deck does go with, the swords. I think she changes them though, the sword gets changed to the blade. The pentacle gets changed to the coins. The wand gets changed to the staff, and then the final one is gourds in this, I believe, is what she used. So she does change it. There's a reason this deck is expensive also. I'm hoping with the sunlight here you can catch the gold glint on the bottom. The way that the different things shine, the coins will shine, the metal on people will shine, the stars in the background will glitter. So much detail put into each and every card on this deck. It's amazing. And that's not even the half of it. If you get the big version, not the travel version, you get this huge guidebook, which is chock full of information. Each one is just a treasure trove to read and references culture, ancestors, pretty much anything that you could, be wanting as somebody practicing an African traditional religion, what you would want to connect with. It's such a universal deck. Not to mention, comes with the box, huge box. I know that the travel one comes with its own box too, and the box looks lovely. But the box is absolutely amazing. It's got, the strings to pull it out. You stack them in there and pull them out. I'm kind of lazy about all that, but and to be honest, completely, I use the guidebook way more than I use the deck, mostly because I can just pull out the book, flip, do some bibliomancy, be done with the divination. Whereas, the cards, there are a lot. There's a lot of cards. So what we're going to do is attempt to show you the different cards in here and hope that you can really see them throughout. So... okay, so you'll be able to see all the details. This is also a deck I very much recommend for people who are looking for dark-skinned people, for people who are dark-skinned. This is African, this is Afrocentric, and you're not looking to have anybody be lighter than dark skinned, this is such an excellent deck for that. And you know, and she, like I said, she does collages, so it will be like the eyes of Tupac, the mouth of like Aretha Franklin, you know what I'm saying? She uses so many different moving parts to her artwork that honestly each card just takes you away to a different place. And this one does give you quite a bit of imagination, right? It does give you like you can really see a world within this. I swear, like this whole thing is upside down. Of course it is. So you can really see, you know, imagery here, but it's all very relatable. So it's not like you're just seeing a world that you don't really know or understand, like Tarot of the Cat people. Like these genuinely feel like the ancestors. Oh, I love this card. These genuinely feel like the ancestors spoke with her. This is symbolism you understand, but it's a lot more realistic. And like I said, painted by a real artist. I mean, look at that. Can you paint that? No, you can't. Okay, so no, I'm kidding, but still, I mean, just, you know, the level of ability that she has, and clearly her training helped with this. I know she had an art gallery with it when it first premiered. I'm not sure if she's ever going to be doing that again, but I mean, you know, if you missed it, you missed it, but you should get the deck if you're looking for a deck. I mean, look at these different people. I'm only going to go through a few more of them because, like I said, this deck is so extensive. It's got all the cards. I think the other one had a little less cards, so I was able to really go through all of them. But I'll just go through like half the deck here, and you'll be able to see just how beautiful this deck is. There's no failing with this deck. This is not a drill. There's no, even if you end up without the guidebook, I think you could read this deck, understand it, feel drawn to it, feel drawn to the pictures, feel guided by the message. I mean, these are symbols everybody understands. Everybody knows this fist and the coins. It's just phenomenal, just a phenomenal job. I mean, it doesn't get much more pro-Black, Afrocentric than this for a deck, especially for Black people by a Black woman. I mean, come on now. Most of our Black or African-American decks are kind of jokes because we didn't make them. So it's wonderful to be able to have these options. It's wonderful to be able to have these options now and focus on them. So that is my review for this deck. I highly recommend this deck. Obviously, I recommend pretty much all of my decks. This deck is really good for those in-depth readings, for those serious readings with your ancestors. I do think it's still good for one card or just pulling out, like looking at a page in the guidebook. But I tend to use this for my super in-depth readings to really enjoy myself and connect with the ancestors. So that's what I recommend this deck for. We'll go over my Adinkra deck, and I think we have the Goddess Tarot still left. Oh, and we have the Zoltun Tarot for anybody who's Afro-Latino out there who wants a deck. But I still have 2 more Black decks to go through before we get there. Thanks for watching. May your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads.